Back in the early 2000s, I thought I had a good life. A steady marriage. 2 little kids, 4 and 6 years old. My wife, a part-time worker, seemed devoted enough. On the surface, we looked like a normal suburban family. But little cracks started to form. At first, it was subtle. My kids, sweet, innocent, began talking more and more about staying at my wife's parents' house. Now, her parents lived almost 90 minutes away. That's not just a casual trip. That's a commitment. And she was supposedly taking them there 2 or 3 times a week. That gnawed at me. My stomach would twist whenever I heard them mention it. Something was wrong. I could feel it, like that quiet dread before a storm. So I asked her casually, "Hey, why are you taking them to your parents so much?" Her response? Immediate denial. But her eyes darted, her tone wavered. She wasn't a good liar. My gut screamed at me. I decided to test her. I started tracking the mileage on her car. Every week, quietly jotting down the numbers. And soon, the truth punched me in the chest. She was driving an extra 400 miles a week. Not for errands, not for family, for something else. And in that moment, my heart sank. My throat went dry. This wasn't paranoia. This was betrayal. Then fate handed me a gift. One evening, I sat down at our old family computer, and there, on the desk, was a sticky note. My wife's AOL password. I stared at it. My palms were sweating. Should I? Shouldn't I? But deep down, I already knew. With shaking hands, I logged in. And there was email after email with her college best friend. Casual, laughing, and tucked inside, the dagger, my wife bragging about regularly sleeping with her high school ex-boyfriend. The worst part? She mocked his wife, called her fat after having kids. Cruel, ugly words. I felt my face burn. My heart hammered like it wanted out of my chest. My world tilted sideways. But I kept calm. I printed those emails, stashed them away. Evidence. Because if she thought I was going to just explode in blind rage, she was dead wrong. I needed more. More than emails. More than suspicions. I needed undeniable proof. So I called a buddy of mine, a cop. I asked if he knew anyone who could help me. He gave me a name, Ron, a former detective turned private investigator. Ron was a godsend. I handed him everything I had. The emails, the suspicions. He went to work. What he brought back, it was like a punch to the gut wrapped in validation. Photos, dates, times. The pattern was clear. My wife would drop the kids off at her parents', meet her ex, let's call him Bob, for lunch, then sneak off to some grimy motel. Hours later, she'd pick up the kids like nothing happened. Seeing those photos, my wife, smiling with him, walking into a motel, my vision blurred. My body felt heavy. I wanted to scream. But instead, I felt something colder. Resolve. I wasn't going to just confront her. I was going to dismantle everything. Ron dug deeper into Bob, the man she risked our marriage, our family for. And what I learned was delicious. Bob, married, 3 kids, vice president of sales at his father-in-law's company. His entire cushy life, job, home, family, was built on connections he didn't even earn. He wasn't just cheating with my wife. He was laughing at his wife, risking his family, thinking he was untouchable. That arrogance would be his downfall. Step 1. I hired a divorce lawyer. I knew firsthand the damage infidelity does to kids. My parents cheated on each other. It scarred my childhood. I wasn't going to let history repeat itself. Step 2. I had Ron make extra copies of his report. Step 3. Timing. Precision. On the same day my wife got served divorce papers at her job, public, humiliating, undeniable, Ron paid a visit to Bob's wife. He sat down with her, showed her everything. The photos, the reports, the truth. Because she deserved to know. And Bob, he deserved the storm coming his way. My divorce was clean. Her infidelity didn't matter much legally, but I had my kids. My boundaries. But Bob's life? That man's life imploded. His wife cleaned out their joint account, grabbed the kids, and left. His father-in-law, the man who gave him the cushy VP job, found out. Fired him on the spot. And since Bob and his wife were living in a house owned by her parents, evicted. The divorce that followed? Brutal. Court battles. Screaming matches. At one point, Bob stormed over to his estranged wife's house, yelling. Her brother stepped in, broke his nose, Police reports followed, restraining orders, even jail time. The mighty Bob, the man who thought he could sneak around, humiliate two families, live above consequence, ended up broke, divorced, jobless, homeless, and disgraced. And me? I didn't have to lift a finger. I just lit the fuse. Years later, I looked him up. Couldn't find much. Last I heard, he'd skipped town. Meanwhile, his ex-wife? She thrived. Took over her father's company. Raised her kids strong. And my ex-wife? We kept it civil. Only talked about the kids. Now that they're grown, we don't speak at all. I don't hate her. She's their mom. And that's all she'll ever be to me. But Bob? He learned the hard way. Cheating isn't just betrayal. Sometimes it's self-destruction.